Oh, hi, Starfruit. Good to see you again. Oh, how did we get here? So, PvZ Fusion. It's an interesting fan game, to say the least. It also has quite a lot of plants. But one type of plant specifically caught my interest, the starfruits. The original starfruit is from PvZ 1, meaning it had to be simple to fit in with the game's simple style as opposed to the crazy slop we get nowadays. The starfruit from PvZ 1. It shoots up, down, behind itself, up and a bit to the right, and down and a bit to the right. It does 20 damage a hit, the same as a pea shooter, and does not change in fusion. And now that we've got all that done, it's time to look at the real cool stuff of the video, the fusions, starting with the common fusions. So the Starmorph is a fusion of Starfruit and Magnet Shroom, which is one of the most important stars in the game because it can combine with metal objects to create new Starfruits. It can also fuse with Planturn, but we're not going to be getting into that and we're saving that for a later part of the video. It does 40 damage as opposed to the regular 20 offered by the regular Starfruit. It also does double damage to iron zombies such as Buckethead. So, Starnut is a combination of, you guessed it, Starfruit and Walnut. It has the same health as a regular Walnut, but every time it gets hit by an attack, it releases 5 stars in the same pattern as Starfruit for every 50 damage it takes. This can lead to some very silly wombo combos like the one you see in the background. Alright, so this plan is pretty simple. It's exactly the same as the regular starfruit, but it can be stacked up to 3 times on a single tile, which is pretty much the puff shroom's entire gimmick. Other than that, it has no changes from the regular starfruit. This plant is entirely useless! It is a scaredy shroom, which means when things get close, it doesn't work! But because it's also a starfruit, they need to be close for it to be effective. And you might be thinking, well, it's a scaredy shroom, so it gets faster. Starfruit can't shoot the same zombie very reliably. In case you couldn't tell, I don't like this plant. The sea star is an aquatic version of the starfruit, which can grow, which is pretty much the sea shroom's entire gimmick. Unlike the puff shroom, it cannot be stacked multiple times upon itself. Once it grows, it shoots twice like a repeater, but does not do any more damage. So now, this is a bit of an interesting one. This plant, the starthorn, cannot target land zombies, but in fact can only target air zombies. When it shoots, it fires 5 homing stars that each do 20 damage. This makes it an excellent air defender, as well as just a really cool looking plant. So this one's pretty simple. It's a torchwood, but for starfruit instead of pea shooters. It adds 20 damage to every starfruit projectile, except 2 that we'll see later, one of which being the one we just talked about, the cactus star. But most importantly, it gets rid of the effects of the stars. So a homing star will no longer be homing, unfortunately. So I've decided to lump these two plants together because they are both explosives, meaning that they are instant use and do a lot of damage. The spicy star does the same thing as a jalapeno when it explodes after a few seconds, but will also release 20 small stars, each doing 100 damage all over the lawn in a circle formation. The Doom Star will summon a giant purple meteor, which does the same damage as a Doom Shroom, but launches 100 small stars, which do 30 damage each. So they are both very strong plants. This is star blover. It's perhaps one of the most unique starfruit fusions of them all. It's a combination with blover, but unlike blover, it's not an instant use plant, but is in fact permanent. What it does is it attracts stars that other starfruits shoot to it, and then shoots them off towards other zombies in any lane, like a homing thistle or a cattail. The reason that Starry Pumpkin is with it is because its only purpose, and I mean only purpose, is for buffing it. It increases the amount of stars it can hold from 40 to 80, making them a very good combo. Alright, here's the best for last of the common fusions. This starfruit, Lumina Starfruit, still shoots 5 stars, but each one does 60 damage. That's the only difference, but here's the thing. There is an interesting gimmick in PvZ fusion called the Lumos level, where light-emitting plants, which are usually fusions with Planturn, will emit light. The more light, the better the plants. If there's only one Lumos level, that's all this plant does. But at 2, it will home in on its own lane, making it basically a really strong Gatling P. Once you get it to 3, it will be able to shoot whenever and charge up a lot of stars for things in its lane. And if you get it to 4, it will be able to do that to any zombie on the lawn, making it an absolute beast of attacker. You want to know the reason why there's no background footage for this one? It's because I took so long writing this part of the video that an entire new update came out and added this plant. It's basically magnifying grass, but if it was a starfruit. It still shoots in 5 directions like a regular starfruit, but only does 100 damage, and to fire it, it costs 25 sun, making it decent in some game modes. Though if you put it in a Starry Pumpkin, because the Starry Pumpkin always buffs things, it will be able to constantly shoot, but also take a constant stream of sun, making it pretty solid if you have a good stream of sun. Okay, that wraps that up. I think I'm going to end the video here and explain the rest of the starfruits in a later video, because this video has already taken so long to make, I don't want to have to push it any further, and I want to be able to keep making content for you guys. Got it? Anyway, bye.